when we come into this, it's an important factor to be in a really loving, very, very calm, connected space to self, and to then invite. So it's an invitation with loving kindness of a scenario or a situation, something that is causing some real heart space ache, and inviting that forward with the understanding, okay, this is how it's made me feel, or this is how going through this story has left me in the past. How do I choose, or what is the opposite of that feeling? How do I choose to move forward from here? How, maybe if you've gotten to that space, how has it been helping me? Has it made me really resilient? Has it allowed me to realize, I can't just take all the time? Or has it made me realize what it feels like to lose, um, to be resourceful, to be creative? Has it shown me what it feels like just to be still for a while, because my body is not letting me get up and do the things that I feel I need to do? And be careful with that too. Yes, life is there. Yes, life needs to be lived. When we get stuck, when we get into a really solid place, and it just stops us in our tracks, sometimes that's exactly what it needs to be. And I've said this already, but I think I'll say it again. It's important. Make the time, or make the space that you need to really not be in the low vibration, not be in the depression, not be in the anxiety, but just to give it space to really be like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is, goals forward of how I'm wanting to feel as I move through this. It's good to have emotions and know that you're in the emotion, but maybe right now you're just so sad, and that's okay. But maybe next you want to get a little bit angry. You want to create a little bit of charge. By the way, no, not by the way, period. Anger has actual, really important, really vital energy to it. And the reason I'm pausing and then I'm like really making this into a statement fact is how long it took me to begin to come to a space in my brain and in my allowance of my emotions, of what I was like allowed to feel and not allowed to feel for myself. I put this limit on myself, and this like heavy limit, of just observing, again, my story, observing a lot of anger at a very young stage in my life. It just became there was no positive that could come out of being angry, allowing anger, feeling angry, any of those emotions. And that can be a real, like, talk about a cement block. That can be a cement mile, is putting that type of belief system in your brain or in your heart. Anger, especially when we're in sadness, anger can be a catapult or a catalyst at the very least of being able to get that stuckness feeling going. And anything, even though it might not always be expressed in the most um, controllable way, it sometimes needs to kind of, with the understanding and hopefully having safe parameters of knowing where your emotional state is. But that explosion it just needs to come out. You need to express, you need to be able to create any type of movement to get out of that really stale, really darker place. And so being able to shift out of that, being able to pull yourself out of that, sometimes means getting that emotional charge in you, and getting that anger to help you to whip things up, to move things, to start to look at things in a slightly different way. And of course, once you go through anger, you don't want to necessarily hold yourself there, because I have seen that. I have been with people that have lived that. That is their life. And yes, anger can, I suppose, in some way create the feeling or the understanding that you are not wrong, or everybody else is wrong, but you are never wrong. I don't know. That is not something I don't, as much as I have started to understand anger and those typical emotional states can be very powerful for getting you out of something. Again, opinion, but in my opinion, it's not a place you want to be living, or it's not a place that you want to be staying in for very long. It creates so much detrimental inner and outer toxicity. Just it needs to move forward. It just needs to be the building block to get you through the situation so that you can start to come into a space of self-compassion usually, or self-awareness. Take on the responsibility that you have had in the scenario, in the situation. That responsibility is, again, a beautiful step to understand you are not a victim. And if you can get out of anger, victimhood, if you can begin to shift the focus towards anything where you see and you can visualize yourself in the future in an emotional state that allows you to be something that you want. You really want to be in appreciation. You really want to see gratitude. You want to be thankful for the people, places, things in your life. Like that's something to maybe look forward to. It might not be where you are right now, and that's okay. That's very okay, because where you are right now is exactly where you need to be to learn something. There is something to be learned. There's something to be, you know, a rock to be lifted over. Maybe there's a lot of rocks to be turned over and get right down in it and observe. But I'm telling you, it's so important. Those emotions have the ability to spark, ignite, explode. It also has the ability to sometimes bring us into that little cocoon, that space that is where our mind, yes, gets a chance to just really be in it, but it also, that stillness, it gives also the heart the chance to sometimes, and the body, the physical body, to sometimes repair and become even more resourceful, more, appreciative of when we do start to make those forward steps out. Like, yeah, I remember where I was. That was really hard. I asked for help. So that was another big piece is, yes, anger can be part of it, but also asking for help, which can be such a hard, challenging thing to do, especially when you're in it.